partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have, of course, Joseph Loughran, our marketing vice president. And then we have our special guest speaker joining us as well from North American Life Insurance Company, Charlene Theraldson, who is the head of sales development at North American. So we're going to just touch on a few things briefly, and then we'll move into today's presentation. Now, I thought this was important enough and a big enough deal that we spend 30, 40 minutes on this topic and this hot new product today. It's just, everything that's going on with the annuity space and DOL changes, which is, it's not a huge deal. We have everything under wraps here at Levinson, and Josh Hoffman can walk you through all of the updates and changes. Not a huge deal. We're also bringing on a new employee that is also a DOL expert as well, who starts here at the end of the month. So you will see her name and bio going out in, I would say, the next week or so. So you can read a little bit about what she brings to the table here at Levinson and Associates. But lots of changes on that side, a few product changes, commission changes, and updates. And we love when there's a new product rollout, especially from a great carrier that we look up to in a lot of ways. And they're really on the same path as Levinson and Associates. And it's just so funny because, we were just talking about this. We just got the annual award from Insurance Newsnet magazine for the fastest growing life insurance IMO in the country. Okay, and we were on the cover of the July Insurance Newsnet edition of the magazine. And, here we are, and North American is in that same exact position for IUL space. They're the fastest growing IUL provider in the country, okay, or they're very close to number one. They are moving up literally every month. So they're in the same path and same space as we are. So we love to align ourselves with a carrier that thinks like us. They're very protective of their carrier and company, and so are we with our agents and, of course, our organization as well. They're A-plus rated in today's world. That's huge. As we all know, they're still privately held, okay, which is another great point, especially when you're speaking to a consumer. So privately held, A-plus rated, owned by Salmons Financial. So, you just never hear about North American, in the news, or, they went into debt or bankruptcy or selling off blocks of business. They're always shining through. And, sometimes licensing could be a little bit difficult if you've had some issues in the past, but you look on the other side of that and they're still A-plus rated. Financials are growing rapidly. They're taking up more and more of that IUL space every day. So, hey, they're doing something right. And at the end of the day, it's all about the consumer and providing the best bang for the buck with indexed universal life. And they're doing a fabulous job with that. So my hat goes off to North American, and that's mainly the reason why we wanted to bring them on today to talk about their brand new non-med single premium IUL product. You're going to learn how the product works, take away some sales ideas and where and how you can use this awesome product. But I have seen it, and I'm very impressed, so well worth spending 30 or 40 minutes with us today. I'll give you a few details, and then we'll dive in. I don't want to steal any of Charlene's thunder. First of all, they have shortened the app, and you will have an immediate underwriting decision with no blood, no urine. This is all simplified issue, non-medical underwriting, immediate decision. So that is awesome. Guaranteed death benefit to 120 with full ROP available in year 5, plus living benefits included. So great bullets here. If you're in the life space, great. This is an excellent alternative. If you're in the annuity space, even better. Okay, what a great story to tell. If you're speaking to a client about an annuity and, just as a backup or another option, show this great product from North American, and you're going to learn exactly how to do everything in just a few more minutes. Okay, so as you know, we'll move into the presentation on slide 2, but as you know, we sit back here at Levinson and we're not happy with just, saying, hey, we're the fastest growing life IMO, we're number one in that space, great, but we know you're as good as your last sale, right? I mean, that's for all the agents that are on the call, you make a monster sale on Tuesday, by Friday, it's what have you done for me lately kind of thing. And we understand that, and we feel the same way. We know, hey, if we just came out with an awesome lead program and great technology, all within the last 4 weeks, that's great, but what are we doing in August, in September? How are we closing out the year? What are we bringing to our agents that's new, hot, and exciting that they can't get from our competition? So we don't stop there, and that's the reason why we have our new IUL sales software. This is available free, okay, no charge. You get a 4-month free trial. If you write the minimum premium of $5,000, which is not a lot when we're talking IUL, we pay for the entire year, no charge, completely free to you. Joe's going to show us what this looks like, and the reason why I love the IUL software is this takes any IUL, and hopefully in this case you're using North American, okay? And if you look at that graph on the right side, it says tax-free plan, and then on the left side, it says current plan. So this is going to compare, let's say your 401k, and let's say you're speaking to a client. We have a full presentation system for you, so you can turn around your laptop or your iPad, and you can show them their existing retirement plan against the IUL plan that you're going over and show them premiums put in, what is the withdrawal, say at retirement age, what is the tax consequence or tax advantage, and then at the end of the day, on the right side at the bottom, you'll see that yellow box, that is the total overall advantage. So the dollars saved by going with our IUL plan versus their existing retirement plan, maybe offered through the government or through their workplace, whatever the case is. And 9 out of 10 times, the IUL destroys any retirement product. So this makes the sale for you. And once again, it's free. We pay for a 4-month trial, no charge. If you don't write anything, which I don't think will happen, but if you don't owe us anything. We are done. We're still friends. If you write $5,000 of IUL premium in that 4-month period, we pay for the entire year. And folks, I'll tell you, the average size IUL case is about $2,000 to $3,000 on the minimum. And they go all the way up to over $100,000. So well worth your time spent to just know the basics, because someone is going to drag your shirt and say, hey, I want to see a whole life quote. My neighbor told me about this. Well, that's a great time to show what an indexed universal life product looks like. And especially with these guarantees, full ROP, living benefits, this is a no-brainer. And as we know, the price of IUL compared to whole life in some cases is half. So again, this is a win-win situation. And with the IUL sales software that Levinson gives to our field force, again, makes for a no-brainer. Joe's going to show you a little bit more and what's available to all of our agents on this call at no charge, and then we're going to jump into the presentation. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So, of course, what we'll do is send out the link after today's webinar in the thank you email, where you can actually go ahead and register and download the software. We do have weekly training events. And then one thing I do want to point out, there are built-in consumer videos available on demand that actually explain market risk. They really simplify the whole IUL product and how it works. And I took a snapshot of just a couple different videos. These are things you can actually share with clients, anything from the actual morning news or CBS 60 Minutes that actually talk about 401ks and all the added charges and fees that people really don't realize are affecting their retirement plan. So being able to use that IUL calculator definitely has helped a lot of agents write more IUL business just in the last couple of years since we've actually brought on the software. So extremely important, valuable tool. Again, we'll email out all details at the end of today's webinar. So that's a great tool to have, especially because you're getting it at no cost for the first 4 months as a trial. One thing I do want to touch on before we dive into today's presentation, like I mentioned, we'll be sending out an email with all the marketing material. I do want to show everybody on the CarrieLevinson.com website. If you go to the marketing folder, you click on product information and brochure. Everything having to do with the product that we're going to be covering and that Charlene's going to be explaining is available on the website. We will send out the links after today's call, but you have access to the quick quarter link, the product specs, even a consumer brochure. So a lot of great material and resources that are available that North American has put together. There's even a phenomenal microsite which Charlene will review that actually helps you not only with the calculator, but how to start the conversation, really kind of how to wrap your arms around this product. And then what we're going to do after Charlene is done, we're going to talk about a great way to actually find local prospects that are a fit for this specific product, specifically with North American. So just some great resources available. Again, after Charlene is done, we'll dive into that automated platform. So I guess I'll turn it back over to you, Bill, and we'll get started here.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And then don't forget, at the end of today's call, we're giving away the brand new free Kindle Fire that has built-in Alexa. So that new feature with Alexa is built into your tablet. We're giving that away to the 150th registrant. I'll announce the winner in about 25 more minutes here, so stay tuned. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our feature presentation, rolling out our brand new simplified issue single premium IUL with North American. Here is Charlene Theraldson from North American Life. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. What a drum roll there. You guys got so much exciting stuff going on. I'm just excited to be a part of this today. So thank you for that. And thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy day to learn about a new product that North American is ready to bring to market. Now, let me just say this right away. This product is going to be available for sale beginning on August 1st. So today is your opportunity to learn all that you need to know about it. We're going to do with the tools that you'll need so that you can start building your client list and start making appointments, setting those up for August 1st and after. So with that, let me go ahead and get started. I want you to have a pen and paper ready, and this is what I want you to write on there: client. I want you, as I'm going through and describing this today, I want you to write down names of your clients that come to mind. And I hope by the time we're done, you've got a list of many and that you can just keep building on. So let's start right here. The opportunity that is in front of you is huge because this product is focused and built for the baby boomers. So between the ages of 50 and 80, and guess what? There are 75 million of them out there. And over the next several decades, these people have over $30 trillion in assets that they want to pass on to their children and grandchildren. Now, what if there's a way for you to help them do that more efficiently and to increase the amount that they're going to be passing to their heirs? That's what today is all about, introducing you to our legacy optimizer. So thinking about those baby boomers, what are their concerns about that money that they intend on passing? Well, they consider it to be a source of an emergency fund that if they don't need it, then they'll pass it on to their heirs. So they do consider it kind of a not, they probably have some other sources too, but if something big comes along, then obviously they're going to use it and lower the amount that's going to go to their heirs. These people are concerned about their own long-term care or chronic illness coming up in the future. They don't know if it's going to happen to them or when it's going to happen to them, but part of them is definitely concerned about it. And so that could be a source of their needing to consider it emergency fund. But if they don't need to touch it, or if they don't touch it very much, then they obviously want to pass it to their heirs. So this is where you're going to come in with a great solution, and the opportunity is yours to seize with these clients. So I hope you got a couple names in mind already, and let's keep adding to it. So here's the hypothetical situation that you may already know about your clients, or as you're meeting with them in the future, you're sitting down, you're reviewing their current situation, their assets, their life insurance, etc. Obviously, when you look at their assets and these baby boomers between 50 and 80, obviously the largest probably sum of their money is earmarked for retirement funds. We're not talking about touching that at all. Don't touch that. But of their discretionary funds, if you can zero in and find out if any of those funds are earmarked to pass to their children and grandchildren, that would be their legacy funds. That would be money they might call never money. Like, I never plan on using it unless I absolutely need to. So trying to find that money. And then let's just review the objectives of the client. Kind of mentioned some of it already. They want to pass it to their beneficiaries. They want to be able to access it if they need to. So when I introduce you to the product, we're going to touch on the liquidity of the product. Those will be important. But the challenges that these individuals are facing today with leaving that money where it's at, well, they're leaving it there because they don't want to risk losing it and they want to be able to access it. But by leaving it in, say, a savings account, CD, money market, they're getting low interest rates. So it's not going anywhere fast. And then taxes and inflation are taking a toll on it. In fact, let's look at this picture here, a bucket. Let's say this is their legacy funds, and they fill it all pretty much up to the top with their, say, $100,000 they want to pass to their heirs. And yeah, they're earning a little bit of interest, and then a little bit of the interest spills over the side because that's taxes taking a toll on it. And then look at all these leaks that come into play at the bottom. That's over 3% of inflation that's taking a toll on the purchasing power of those funds earmarked for their beneficiaries. Now, if we apply some real numbers to that picture story of that bucket, 100,000 earns 1%, so you're at 101. Then you lose 25% of the 1,000 for taxes, so now you're under 101. And then you apply inflation at the rate of over 3%. So now what was 100 is really only has a purchasing power of 97.5. That's just after 1 year. You multiply that times 10 or over a 10-year period, I mean, it's quickly losing its value as far as what it could purchase 10 years from now compared to what it could purchase today. So how about locking something in? How about giving their beneficiaries more and locking in something more and protecting it from the taxes and inflation? That's where we've got the solution, which is our legacy optimizer. So here's what it looks like. So again, start thinking of those clients, jot a couple more names down. The information we're going to give to you at the end of today is going to really recap everything I'm covering, so you don't have to frantically take notes on this information. I'd rather you build your list of clients because all the details are going to be in the piece I'm going to show you here in just a few more minutes. So it's a single premium wealth transfer. You're going to find that never money, those legacy assets, and you're going to dump it into this legacy optimizer day one. Single premium transfers immediately into a larger death benefit that's guaranteed. Because of the large sum of money it's going in, and it's an IUL product, it has the potential to earn and grow more cash value over time. And if the cash value is growing over time, that can also push the death benefit up over time. So just because we locked in a guaranteed death benefit on day one, depending on their index performance and when they actually pass away and the benefits are paid out, the death benefit could be higher than what the guaranteed amount was. And then those liquidity features, those are going to be important. I want to highlight those because remember, these guys have emergencies that they're concerned about that they might need to access the funds before giving it all to their children and grandchildren. So that death benefit immediately leverages and to a higher amount on day one. We're not waiting for years of growth to occur in order for it to get to that level. That's the beauty of life insurance. And efficiency, talk about passing to their heirs efficiently as far as not being subject to income tax or to probate. So it goes that way. And I mentioned too how it can potentially grow based on the index performance over time and grow into something more. Now, when we look at the cash value, because this is an IUL product, it's not going to be participating in the market, but we're going to measure the performance of an index to determine how much interest will be credited. This being a more simplified product, we're only offering two different index options. They're both tied to the S&P 500. One just comes out with a cap. It does have a lower cap than our other IUL products. The cap is going to be 6.5. So depending on what the returns are, they're either going to be protected by the floor of 0 or they'll cap out at 6.5 or somewhere in between. The other index option is it has a spread. and the spread is 5.75. So there's no cap on that. So whatever the index returns, then we're going to subtract 5.75, and whatever's left, as long as it's above zero, is what we'll credit. So obviously, if the index only returned 5 and you subtract 5.75, that puts us below zero, and then the floor of zero would just come into play there. Nothing would be credited. But think about those higher returns. And I'll show you on the illustration I'm going to share with you today what some of the past performance has been on that one, because it's pretty incredible. And then, of course, there's a fixed account that's going to start at 3.2. Now, there's a premium bonus. This is going to come into play beginning in year 5. Now, remember, these funds are intended to pass to their heirs, so them putting the money in and forgetting about it and having that guaranteed death benefit should be a good fit. But in year 5, we're going to go back and look at, on day 1, what did they fund this policy with? Oh, 100,000. All right. Then we're going to take 10% of that and we're going to give it back to them over the next 5 years in the form of 2%. So beginning years 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 2% of whatever they put in on day 1 gets returned to their account value in the form of a premium bonus. Liquidity features. We talked about those being an important way to be able to access funds if emergency arises. So after the first year, they're able to access 10% per year of their account value without incurring a penalty or surrender charge. Once we get to year 5, so day 1 of year 5, the ROP kicks in. Return of premium means if I put in $100,000 on day 1, then on year 5, day 1, I now will walk away from this policy with never anything less than the $100,000 I put in 4 years ago. So that's going to come into play. You'll see that on the illustration I'm going to share with you as well. And then accelerated death benefit. This product includes both terminal and chronic, included automatic. No additional underwriting, no additional fees for that, no marking it on the application that you want it. It's going to be included as long as they get approved and it's issued. And those work just a little bit differently than they do on our current product, but for the better. So just real quickly, I'll say that terminal normally lets you accelerate 75%. On this product, it's going to let you accelerate up to 90%. The chronic is still going to be up to 24%, but it no longer has the word permanent in there on this product. So it doesn't have to be considered permanent. And then the other piece is that we're guaranteeing a certain amount based on certain ages at which they accelerate. So more on that to follow when I get to the illustration. So let's build our sample case here for which I'm going to share an illustration. This 70-year-old female has an estate value of $725,000. The majority of it are considered her retirement funds. You dig a little deeper into her discretionary funds, and you find out that she has $100,000 that she wants to pass to her beneficiaries. So let's see what we could do with that. $100,000 dropped right into the legacy optimizer is going to guarantee her a death benefit of $165,000 from day 1. So 10 years from now, in this middle column, she's still got a guaranteed 165. The green column to the right there is showing you based on the 6.5 cap, which gives us a maximum illustrated rate of 4.23. So she could be up to a death benefit of about $175,000 after 10 years. And if it's earning more, that could be higher. If it's less, it could be a little bit lower, but it won't be less than 165. If she left it in her current vehicle, the 1 or 2% taxable or tax deferred vehicle, there's really no guarantee that it'll other than her principal that'll be there, but you can see that those numbers don't grow anywhere near to the guaranteed or the potential return. Now for chronic illness, if we have a higher death benefit, and because our acceleration is based on a percentage of the death benefit, again, applying those same numbers, if she just left it in her other vehicle, she just spreads it out maybe over a 4-year period. Here we're assuming at 77, she encounters a chronic illness, takes $25,000 each year, or based on what it grew to, a little bit more than that. But on the legacy optimizer, it's 24% of 165, and then we have a guaranteed payout there. So here we're saying the guaranteed lowest she could get based on her 165 is 31,480 for 3 years, and then the remaining amount changed to equal 123 would she get the fourth year, because she does have to keep $10,000 as a residual death benefit so we can pay the final death claim. A little bit larger numbers on the green side, green section of the slide here, just based on that if it had grown up to 175. So we're really, tackling all of their concerns and needs by moving the money here. We're giving them an opportunity to give more and have access to more for themselves. So back to our sample graph here, she had an estate value of 7.25. We moved that 100,000 into the legacy optimizer, and we immediately grew her estate up to 790. So it just, you have a solution to make it all the better for both your client and their beneficiaries. So let me show you how simple the process is. Going back to that list, I hope you got some names on there, and here's some more of the details. Who do you know between the ages of 50 and 80? These are our issue ages, who have somewhere between 25,000 and 200,000 of legacy assets to single premium transfer into this product. This is who you're looking for, people. These are your baby boomers. You know them. You know a lot of them already, and there's more that you're about to meet. So here's how you make your list and go forward. Next, you confirm all of these goals that we've talked about, that they're concerns. You show them how, yes, they want to have access. Yes, they'd like, to have more for chronic illness. Yeah, they don't like taxes taking a toll on it or taking a toll on the money when it transfers to their beneficiaries. If they can say yes to all of this, you have the solution. So then you can move forward. Like Bill said at the beginning, this process is simple. This is different than traditional life underwriting. There is no fluid, so nobody has to get poked for their blood. Nobody has to give a urine specimen. There's no medical exam. We're not ordering medical records. Here's what happens. I'm going to show you additional tools that actually take place probably before the short application, because we have some pre-qualification questions that you'll want to work through, suitability, and some impairments that could disqualify them. Once you decide that this is a good fit based on all of that criteria, you're going to move forward with the application. The application is a couple pages shorter on the paper app, and if you use our electronic e-application, our Simple Submit, it'll just guide you through the questions, and you'll just fill in the blanks and then move through the process swiftly. Once you get to the end of the application, the e-app will give you the number to call. You'll call into a vendor that we've contracted with, EFP, and to conduct the interview with your client. If you've taken a paper app, you'll fax that and then you'll to us, and then you'll call the EFP. So let's say that you have this client either at your office or you're meeting with them in their home. And then you're going to be at this point, pick up the phone, you're going to call to the EFP, you're going to give them some information and then pass the phone to your client. At that point, your client will go through about a 12 to 20-minute interview back and forth with the underwriter. While the underwriter is conducting the interview, they will be accessing an MIB report and a prescription report. And so through the process, they're going to answer all those questions and dig deep and get everything. They're basically doing the medical underwriting on the phone. When they've completed that interview, they're going to ask the client to pass the phone back to you, and you're going to get your decision. And hopefully that is that they are medically approved. So medically approved is what the underwriter on the EFP phone call will do, and then North American has 48 hours approximately to make the final financial approval. And that's all information that was either obtained during the phone interview or on the application as far as their assets. And then, like I'll show you in some of the materials here, that we do have criteria as far as how much we'll allow based on how many assets they have. So with that, you actually can type in questions now if you want, but I actually have some more information to share with you. And I think some of that will probably answer some potential questions. So first of all, I'm going to bring up the illustration that goes along with the sample case that I just shared with you. And I'm going to go to page 2. Now, because this product is not available until August 1st, you will not be able to run an illustration until August 1st. But I do have a quoting tool that I'm going to show you here in just a minute, but I wanted to start with the illustration just to show you a few other pieces. Um, Joe and Bill are going to have a copy of this, so if you would like to see a sample illustration, let them know. But here with our female age 70, there are only two rate classes on this product. You're either tobacco or you're non-tobacco. Basically, this will cover clients to about a table 4. So if somebody is outside of that range, then they probably didn't make it to the application or through the interview process and probably resulted in a decline because this pretty much covers to about a table 4. Here's our $100,000 guaranteeing 165. Yes, it is a max because of the single premium. Here are those included benefits that we talked about, the return of premium and the premium bonus in year 5. Here's the death benefit and liquidity, just summarized years 5, 10, 15, and 20. You can see day 1 of year 5, guaranteed you will not walk away with less than what you put in. There's that death benefit guaranteed, and over here, that was at 175 after 10 years based on the 4.23. And then there's a section on the chronic illness showing, maximum. Here's your 24% of 165. This is the maximum you can accelerate. And then based on the worst case, the guaranteed amount that we're saying that we are guaranteeing for the check amount, this is what they'll get in their hand. So nice summary right here in the illustration. Just going to move forward. Here are those guaranteed percentages that I was talking about. So we're saying that if, in our example, she was going to be 77, if that's on the acceleration, we're guaranteeing she's going to get at least 80% in the form of a check of what she accelerates. So this is something that's different. We still have the 90 days, but we don't have the word permanent in here anymore for the chronic illness on this product. All right, a couple other things I want to show you. Here were those different index options. There's our 6.5 on the annual point-to-point. Here's our 5.75 spread on the annual point-to-point with spread. Here's the maximum illustrated rate, 4.23, based on the AG 49 regulations that are explained right there. Here are the average rates of return. So when we look at the annual point-to-point with spread, you can see over the last 5 to 40 year spans, it's averaged over 6.5%. So that's a pretty attractive option that we hope many will take a look at. And then here we get to the illustration. So here's your 100,000 going in. There's your ROP coming into play in year 5. It did dip below in the first years, but then the ROP comes into play in year 5. And considering these are legacy funds, and it's there for the ultimate, death claim, not having that in those early years, other than for the need of emergency funds, but it will resurface. And then you can see here too, we're getting, the premium bonus being applied in these years too. So later, the 100,000 resurfaces back here. We get to the back page. We've got 100,000 and 165 pretty much everywhere. We actually don't drop below 165 until about age 102 over here on the low assumption of 4.23. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you on the illustration. Now, this is the tool that I think you are going to find very helpful. Let me show you. All you have to do is type in nalegacy.com, and it'll take you right to this site. It's going to make it a longer website, but all you have to write down now on your paper, NA for North American Legacy.com. So this is an interactive tool that you can just follow the arrows and move through the process, and it'll take you through a guide to all of your resources. How to start the conversation, show your clients this video. So you can move through the process here. Show them this video. The short looks like it's 1:17. Then you can move through to the quote engine. So this is the piece I was talking about, that since we can't run illustrations now until the product launches, sometimes you just need to know what dollar amount you're actually talking about too, just to have the conversation. So for example, our client today, we put in the 100,000, age 70, female, non-tobacco. The right-hand side is for comparison purposes. You know, what is their current income tax rate? How much are they currently earning where the 100,000 is sitting right now? So you can change those to based on what the client's situation is if you'd like. Otherwise, it's going to default to 25 and 1. Generate the quote. Right here in the green bar is our 165. If you scroll down, it has a section here on the chronic illness. These are those guaranteed minimum amounts that they will get if they accelerate against the guaranteed 165, what they're 24%, you know, and those other percentages that I showed you on the illustration. The cost of doing nothing, if they don't do anything and leave it where it's at and it calculates what their life expectancy is based on the age we put in, 25% and 1%, at age 88, she's going to have about $114,000 in her 1% vehicle. And you're offering her up here 165. Why wouldn't you do that? All right. So this is to get you talking, and this isn't the illustration. It doesn't offer a print option other than a print screen, I guess, if that's what you wanted. But it's really for you to open up the conversation. So from there, and I'm not going to take you through all of this, but I just kind of want to show you a few things and then let you explore it on your own. So here's some preliminary questions that you want to work through with your client to make sure it's a fit for them. You know, have they been declined? DUI? You know, it's just, you're going to parole, you're going to work through all of this and make sure that it's suitable for them so that you don't put them through the process of an application and an interview just to find out that if you would ask them this question ahead of time, you would have known. Then it asks you to complete the application. Let me move now, because I'll let you explore the rest of this on your own, but I like on the agent resources, so I'm going to click agent resources. And again, a little bit different menu up here. I'm going to go down here to tools and resources. Let me show you this here real quick. The sample application. This is the sample application of what's going to be asked during the telephone interview, like the part 2. This is 2 pages. There's some suitability questions here, and then they're going to get into the medical questions. So, you know, nice that you can see this ahead of time to prepare your client what type of questions they'll be asked. Back over here, the other 2 pieces that you're really going to like, the sales process guide. If I were to name it something else, it would be the product guide. So this is really the 12-page product guide as far as giving you, it gives you more, it does give you information about the process, but you get back in here and it gives you all the product details. The 2 underwriting rate classes, the issue ages, there's those percentages again for the chronic illness. Here's the 90% on the terminal illness, you know, the different index options and such. But the other piece that I really like is this application process guide. If you like to use this interactive website, that's great. It'll take you through the process too. But if you like it in print or want to get familiar with it, this application process guide is right here. This is a 16-page document. Here's what I like. Before you begin, page 9, go through the suitability, and I'm going to show you this, but this is where we're looking at the percentage of their assets. Go through those pre-qualification questions. Those were the 12 or so that popped up on that other page that I was showing you, but they're also on page 11 in this piece. How about the impairments that could knock them out? Those are found on page 14. Next, make sure your client is equipped with this information. Their beneficiary information, including social and date of birth, are preferred. How about their list of prescription medications, and then a list of their liquid assets? They're going to need that during the phone interview. Here's the contact information for ESP, generous hours on Monday through Thursday night till 10:30 Eastern time and till 6 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. Currently only available in English, no interpreters are allowed in this process, perhaps in the future, but not right now. We talked about what happens when you reach the interview underwriter, but what about times when you wouldn't? And they should be fully staffed and equipped to answer the flow, but I'm thinking more about the times that you're meeting with your client late on a Friday night or a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So they're not going to be there to answer. you as the agent are going to leave some information, and then ESP will begin the calling process 2 times a day for the next 7 days to reach your client to conduct the interview, and then once a day for up to 21 days. So we talked about that, you're going to hopefully get the medical approval. There could be a couple other decisions that come out of that, such as declined. Touch on that a little bit more on the next page. But if they're medically approved at that time, go ahead. And if you're still with the client, assuming you were still with them, and the interview didn't take place at another time, go ahead and collect the check from the client and send that our way with the signed illustration. Once we receive the check, we are going to hit print on the policy. It's going to go into the commission cycle for you, and we're going to mail it to you, and then you can make arrangements to meet with the client a second time and deliver them their policy. No CODs on this policy, and it won't be issued until we receive the premium. Now, the premium could be a single premium, or it could include one or more 1035s. But we won't issue it until all sources of funds are here that are intended to purchase that guaranteed death benefit. Here are a few of the other decisions that could come out of this: incomplete due to something not fully uncovered during the process. Maybe the client changed their mind, withdrawn or canceled. Maybe it needs to be referred to an underwriter. And then there's also an appeal process if something is inaccurately showing up on their MIB or their prescription. Contact information, just where to fax those applications if you're doing the paper, or how to mail them. And then here begins page 9, the suitability questions. Here is the chart of, liquid assets, how much they have, how much will allow them to put in, and then the minimum premium amounts and maximums. If they're under age 60, then they can't put in the full 200. They'll be capped at 150. So you should, if you're getting all of the right information and using this chart, you should have a good idea on if they're going to be financially approved by North American within those 48 hours. Pre-qualifying questions, build chart, and then the knockout, the impairment. 2 pages of those. So make sure that you use all of those sources, those lists there, to make sure that you've really checked it out with the client to make sure that then it's right to proceed with the application and the phone interview. So with that, I hope you've got a great list of clients in mind that you need to start making calls to and setting appointments. I'm going to pass it back to you, Joe and Bill, and see if there's any questions or anything else you want me to help with here.
No, that was great, Charlene. We actually have a closed call because the amount of attendees, but anyone that has questions, of course, call us, email us, and if we need to get Charlene involved, she's available as well anytime, so which is also great support from a home office perspective. So that was awesome. Great stuff. Now, you're probably scratching your head saying, wow, this is great. I made my list of prospects that I'm going to speak to about this. But how do I gain more prospects, and how do I share this great story about this North American IUL? Well, we have the solution to that as well, and that's where our agency automator comes into place. So again, free to all active Levinson agents, and there's 2 sides to this. So the agency automator on the left side, just picture 2 screens. Your left screen is going to be your CRM tool used to manage and track all of your existing clients and policyholders and check on policy anniversary, look at conversions, look at birthdays and anniversaries, and basically everything at your fingertips running on autopilot for your existing client base. Okay, now, on the right side, that's where you're going to tap into our database of millions of prospects throughout the country. Okay, and you can go in every month and put in your zip code. And let's say you want to market to prospects and talk about this certain IUL product. So we have pre-made marketing pieces in our library of documents that you can go into and create and add your logo and blast these pieces out by mailer and email. And the whole point is you dive into our database of millions of prospects. You say, okay, I'm working in the 33067 zip code, and I only want to speak to prospects that fall into this zip code or the 305 area code, say in Miami. Let's just use an example. And I want all young professionals that fall between the ages of 30 and 50 that make at least a combined 6-digit income, that all have children that are under 15. Okay, and the system will spit out 1,000 prospects or possible clients that you can go market to. You can call them, send one of our mailers, send an email, or do all of the above. Okay, everything is there for you, and it's free. So this is a great time and place to share your story, get the message out there. And even if they don't click on, hey, I want to speak to someone, or they're not interested today, they might see another email blast that's part of the campaign a month later and say, oh, wow, now this really tugged on my heartstrings. I want to know more. I want a quote. Okay, the point is you keep your name in front of these prospects, and most of the time it takes number 5 through 12. So 5 through 12 clicks or e-blasts, that's when most people are going to respond to you and say, hey, Bill, I want to hear more. So that's the point of Agency Automator. The left side is for your day-to-day clients. It keeps you in the loop with everything going on with your consumers and clients. On the right side is where you're going to go in every month and create and market to 1,000 new prospects. Okay, that's 12,000 for the year, and that's free as long as you're active with us. So again, no brainer, especially if you want to talk about, scholarships and you want to pull up young families, indexed UL for young professionals. We even have small business marketing pieces built in. It goes on and on and on. And even if you have some good marketing ideas, we can preload those in to the system as well. So great, great stuff. Okay, moving forward here, we're just about done. We have a couple minutes. So like I said earlier, that, you're as good as your last sale. And for us as an IMO, we're as good as our last sales program or lead program, right? We all get it, okay? We have to constantly evolve and come out with new great stuff to bring to our agents. Now, our brand new lead program coming out, okay, for the end of 2017, we're going to launch this in about 2 to 4 weeks. We'll have the initial rollout launch. Now, this is a live transfer lead program exclusive to us. Now, the reason why we're rolling this out to our agents, and this isn't just another lead company that's on the internet that we teamed up with. No, this is a company that was exclusive to a very big insurance carrier that we all know their name, okay? And they were doing that successfully and only working with one carrier for many, many years. And up until about 6 months ago, they were released from that contract. So now we were able to put together an exclusive deal just for our agents with this third-party vendor. These are live transfer leads. Now, what I love about the program is everything is recorded. So, you can't, let's say you call them and say, guys, I just received a transfer lead, and the person isn't even interested in life insurance. They wanted this free book that the company was offering them. Well, everything is recorded from the vendor, okay? And these are people that said, hey, Bill, I want to learn more about life insurance, and I want a quote. And then they're handed off to you. Hopefully you make the sale. Everybody wins. It's that simple, okay? These are going to run, the exclusive co-op price is between $30 and $40 per lead, okay? Now, the wider spread your area is for people that you want to speak to, the less cost each lead is, okay? The more narrow your spread is, let's say I only want to work in Fort Lauderdale, the more expensive the lead cost is. Now, what's so great, we worked out a special deal with them where for all of our agents that sign up, you're going to get a $400 credit, okay, with your first deposit. So as soon as you start, you're going to get basically $200 to $400 in leads at no charge, okay? So that's a big plus, great chance for you to learn about the program and see if it's for you, or if not, let's say you sell a lead or two out of your batch, great, you move on, you never have to use them again. But I know the program is good enough to at least roll out to our agents and let everybody get a fair shot at the new live transfer leads. Very, very exciting. Keep your eyes peeled for our e-blast. And we're going to have a rollout webinar with the creator of the program in just a few more weeks here. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, Joe is going to talk about our upcoming live agent training events. These are awesome, a great way to stay in the loop with everything going on in the industry. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So, of course, every one of our upcoming training events can actually be accessed right on the website, kerrylevinson.com. We actually have a calendar which shows some of our web events for about the next 2 months. So be sure to check that out. I do want to mention that Agency Automator platform Bill mentioned. We have trainings every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We also have a platform called Agency Automator Plus, which is the same exact platform, but for those GAs and agencies out there that have sub-agents or are looking to recruit agents, instead of accessing a consumer database, of course, you're accessing a database of active insurance agents in your own state or any other state in the country. So that training is Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we have a great webinar, which also incorporates the new exclusive lead program. We're actually covering a turnkey final expense sales program. We're going to be covering top final expense plans. That's Thursday the 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then you'll see at the bottom there, for those agents that are unaware, we actually give every agent a free website that comes with a quote engine, lead capture system, all sorts of calculators for your clients so they can actually look at your online business card, which is your agent website, learn more about you, and actually kind of read up on some different products that you offer, even run quotes and actually apply for some different insurance products. So we're covering that complete turnkey agent website platform on the 10th of August at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can actually, of course, register right from the homepage. You can also access the Levinson YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in Levinson and Associates, and you'll actually be able to see all those training webinars that have been recorded, that are posted, anything from how to use the website to how to use the mobile app to an e-application to learning more about maybe Index Universal Life. So feel free to check that out. Again, it's just go to YouTube and type in Levinson and Associates.
Okay, great stuff, Joe. I want to make one correction. The live transfer leads, what I was talking about, the $400 free bonus, which is $400 worth of free leads if you sign up. It's actually $200. So if you sign up with a minimum deposit, which is $500, you're going to get $200 in leads right off the bat, and that is compliments of Levinson and Associates. So you'll see our email blast regarding the new transfer lead program, and definitely make sure you're on that call because, like I said, the CEO and president of the company will be joining us for the official rollout. So great stuff to come. Okay, now everybody will receive an email with all of the information that we went over today, including this new link that Charlene was talking about, which is basically a microsite with all of the info at your fingertips. So, first off, I want to announce our tablet winner. So the 150th registrant was D. Klatzoff. That's D. Klatzoff. Congratulations. We'll mail that out this afternoon to you. And I like to end on a positive note here. So every Tuesday, we call it Positive Tuesday, we update our Levinson Facebook page with a positive note. And I feel it's so important to make sure day in, day out, we're all in the right mindset. I say this all the time, but I can't stress how important this is. The energy and the feeling that people that you meet throughout the day, and it could be in person or on the telephone, that feeling is infectious. So if it's bad or good, okay, that energy radiates, okay, and it could be negative or it could be positive. But if you're in the right mindset, people feed off that. You'll make sales, you'll get referrals, you'll get introductions, okay, because if people like you, everyone has a friend, right, that wants to hear your story. So make sure we're all in that right place day in and day out. Put your right foot forward. Make it happen. Stay focused. If it's motivational tapes, CDs, DVDs, church, temple, anything religious, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, if it puts you in the right place, great. Keep doing it. Be consistent and persistent, and let's all make it happen. We'll end with this. At 19 waiting tables at Chili's, they all said, get a real job. Now they're asking if I'm hiring. Okay, so any of us, Okay, everyone on this call today can go out and make it happen. We're all born with a special talent. Figure it out, make it happen, push it as hard and fast as you can. Congratulations to Ms. Klatzoff. Have a wonderful rest of the week, a good weekend, and great sailing. Take care.